George Cox for Acton TV. It's a beautiful spring day and we're coming to you from the Great Hill Conservation Land. Coming up on today's show, household goods, information on the Acton Garden Club's annual plant sale, and a local inventor. We are at Household Goods in Acton, an organization that helps families get back on their feet. They are looking for volunteers, and we had a chance to talk to Priscilla, one of the truck drivers.
I became a volunteer from Household Goods. I heard about it from someone else who was a volunteer. So I walked in to see what might be available to do and was quickly told one of the things that was needed were truck drivers. Not exactly what I expected was going to be requested, but certainly open to the possibilities. One of the things I do as a volunteer is help donors on Saturday mornings to drop things off. And I also drive one of the trucks, this truck specifically, on Tuesday mornings. Oh, the truck is awesome. I love this truck. This is the little truck. There's actually a larger van, but it's almost as easy to drive as this one. When I walked in the door, I think one of the things about Household Goods that's so terrific is there are needs, and Sharon specifically said, "Can you drive a truck?" And I happen to have driven a horse trailer for years, so I kind of assumed maybe that was a truck and shared that information, whereupon I was virtually handed the keys to this truck and given a chance to drive it around the grounds, and I was good to go. We pick up 3 times a week in this truck small furniture, I would say small furniture, but it's bureaus and sofas and bookcases and household goods, but the larger furniture. I go out with 2 crew who are the heavy lifters. I'm not a heavy lifter, but as a light lifter, especially drivers, there's so many smaller items that need to be brought out, bags of linens and an ironing board and lamps and artwork. So there are many little trips that also need to be done while the heavy lifters are handling the larger pieces of furniture. And part of what I really enjoy about driving is the interaction with the donors. Why they're donating, what they have, going over the list, sometimes suggesting other things that they may not be aware that we take, and hearing their stories about their move or their downsizing. So I thoroughly enjoy the interaction with the donors, whether it's driving or working here Saturday mornings. Donation days for drop-off here are Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 9 to noon. If you want to arrange a pickup, we're usually booking 5 to 6 weeks out. They can go to our website, which is householdgoods.org, and on the drop-down menu, they'll find Schedule a Pickup. This place is just so friendly, so warm. Everybody here is happy. I think, quite honestly, what I like most is there's no hierarchy. We're primarily volunteer-driven. For over 800 volunteers, we only have 3 paid staff. And we're allowed to basically take on responsibilities, make changes, make suggestions, do things the way we feel they should be done. And everybody who's here wants to be here, and it's a very flexible organization. So it's a happy place to be.
Hello, I'm Sharon Martins, the Executive Director at Household Goods, and I'm here with Talk of the Town to speak with Bridget Bieber about volunteering at Household Goods.
Good morning, Sharon. How are you today?
I'm great, Bridget.
Good. Well, welcome to Household Goods. And you know that we have over 600 active volunteers at Household Goods, and we're always looking for more. It's a great place to volunteer. We have volunteers from 14 through 92 years of age, so there's always something fun for people to do here.
If I wanted to volunteer, what kinds of things could I do?
Oh, there's a huge variety of jobs for you at Household Goods. We can have you helping sort boxes or bags of linens and folding them and putting them into nice packages for our clients. You can help clients shop for goods when they're here on afternoon or morning shifts. There are just a huge variety of jobs for you to do here. You can help us in the office, you can help us on the floor. There's always sweeping to do, which is really fun, I know. But it's a great place to come and meet other people who are like-minded and who want to help people find a home.
So I don't need to be able to lift a couch to volunteer?
Absolutely not. If you can lift a pencil, you can volunteer at Household Goods. There's plenty to do besides lifting.
Great. So when you were talking about clients, could you tell us a little bit about who those people might be?
Oh, sure. Typically, it's people who have just needed a hand getting going again. It might be people coming out of shelters. We serve a lot of veterans here at Household Goods, and typically if people are able to find housing through government assistance or whatever, they move into their homes, but they have nothing to put in their homes. So we help them with that. We help them with pots and pans so they can cook a nutritious meal, sheets and mattresses so they have a place to sleep, tables so they can sit at a table and share a meal with their family, sofas to sit on. So it's really just a variety of people. There could be people who've had floods or fires, and they would come to us for assistance in finding things to put in their apartment.
Wow, and that's about 2,500 families a year.
It's a huge number, and a lot of those families have young children, so it's really wonderful to see the kids come in to pick out sheets for their new beds or chairs to sit on. They get really excited, and it really warms your heart. Oftentimes, our volunteers who are helping clients finish up with the clients at the end of their shifts, and the clients give them a big hug and a thank you, and it really does warm your heart to be able to help in that way.
Wow, volunteers must feel really good about volunteering here.
I think they do. I think, helping people directly, seeing the way that we accept donations in the morning and those very same items go right back out in the afternoon, it really makes people understand the immediacy of what we do to help other people, and you can really see the impact that we have on families. So it's really a great place, and it's a lot of fun.
Great. Now, if I wanted to donate, when should I bring my donations?
So we accept donations here on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday mornings from 9 until 12. We do some pickups for essential items in the Acton area and those towns that touch Acton. And to do that, you would call our phone number and talk to the donation folks to schedule.
Great. And what kinds of things do you need?
Oh, right now we really need blankets, silverware. Those are the big items. Our blanket shelves have been bare, and it's still quite cold out, so I encourage people to clean out what they have at home. Somebody said recently that their extra items might be somebody else's only item, so I really encourage people to do a little spring cleaning and bring their extras to us.
Donations are Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, 9 to 12. If you want more information, maybe you want to be a volunteer, visit their website at householdgoods.org. We'd like to thank everybody at Household Goods. They are a great organization that helps families in need. Coming up next, we had a local inventor stop by to show some of his inventions. We are in the studio today with John Nadwerski, an inventor, and you have some great inventions here to show us. You're from Boxborough.
I am.
And tell us about some of the process that goes through your mind in creating different things that people need.
Right. The first thing is, I get stuff in my head all the time. So usually when I'll see something, I'll say, is that a problem? And if it is a problem, then I try and figure out, do I have a solution for that problem? Mm-hmm. For instance, if you look over here, one of the things I have is a process that'll help you slice and cut equal portions of an odd number of slices. For example, if you had 7 people for dinner.
Oh, wow.
That's the whole stack. It goes 3, 5, 7, and 9.
This is really handy.
If you had 7 people, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to cut equal pieces, but you stick that little disc right in the middle. It has 7 little leaves on it, and then you just cut the 7 leaves and you get equal pieces. Nobody feels slighted, etc. So.
And then if you want to go down to 5,
Oh,
you
yeah.
just switch it, and then you get some big pieces for the people who are not on a diet. That's wonderful. What a great idea.
Right, right.
What gave you the idea to do, this is actually your invention?
It is my invention,
Mm-hmm.
yes. And that invention kind of started with a little disc like that,
Mm-hmm.
and I went through multiple iterations to get it to where I have it here. And if you have the full number of them, you can stack them like that or just set them side by side.
How did you get the mold made?
3D printing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a 3D hub which will supply you with people who do 3D printing. My guy happens to be up in New Hampshire, just because that's the guy they gave me.
Mm-hmm.
He's very good. What I do is I'll send him an idea, usually sketch out an idea. In this particular case, I just sketched it out. I started with something really big. And first time I sent it to him, he said, too big. Nobody will buy them too big, too hard to make. So we kind of like got it down to a size where it's about 3 inches across. And then we talked about, you notice on this one, there's a tiny, small little hub there and a small hub there. We talked about how will it work if you wanted to stack them. So you go through a couple of iterations. That one happens to be the latest iteration. The only thing I don't like about this is it has some scoring on top here,
I see, yes.
which if you look at this afterwards, you'll have chocolate, in this case, on there. It's a little harder to wash that with the scoring on it. So my next iteration will be really flat.
Now, have you gotten a patent on this yet, or is that the next in the work, and then maybe try to sell it to, like,
Right. That's a very good question, because I have about 200 ideas, but I only brought the ones that I have patent pendings on.
Okay, great.
So
great.
that nobody out there can go and make this and go to the market and sell
This
it.
is a great idea.
But
I could see this at definitely Walmart and yeah.
That there's all the people like Walmart, Amazon, AC Hardware, Target. There are Alibaba and those groups.
I think that would sell like hotcakes.
Yeah, those are good. People tend to like that because it's easy. You can stick it away.
I want those already.
There you go.
I would buy those.
Now
already.
you and I would eat a piece of cake, except we're both on diets, right?
We're both on diets, the low carb diets. We both lost weight. All right. So what else do you have here? Let's go around the table.
So next one is a small sterilizer. What I call it the Germinator.
Okay. Let me just pick this.
Because I started working on this when the Terminator movies were out.
Okay.
So I picked up the name Germinator. At any rate, it's a small 5x9. It has a UVC light in here. UVC light is very dangerous to skin, and it's also very dangerous to bacteria.
Now, this is something you already bought and you modified?
I did.
Okay.
Exactly. That's a prototype.
Yeah, so it's a prototype.
Yeah.
So when you make a prototype, you maybe buy something that's already constructed, and
Yeah.
then you added to what's already
Yeah.
there.
I
and
took
you added the.
I added the light.
That's a great
And
idea.
I took out some things that they had inside because I didn't need them. But the mechanicals are there. So that's battery run, but it also has AC on
So
it.
tell us how this works.
So you have kids have binkies. They drop them on the floor. The dog licks them, etc. You want to sterilize them, a little spoon. You could use it for toothbrushes. You could use it for hearing aids. You could use it for anything you can stick in there.
Right.
You close it and you put it on, and it'll run for X amount of minutes. You don't want to open it while it's running. And at my prototype, I put a little hole in there so I can see.
Okay.
I can see the actual light.
Right.
when
So
it
the
goes
light
off.
is actually killing the germs.
Yeah, light
Okay.
kills the germs. So it stays about 2 minutes. It'll kill 99.99% of the
And much
germs.
better than using like chemicals and stuff. You're actually using light to kill the germs.
Yeah,
So I like
and
that idea.
the UVC light will kill the bacteria. It also produces a little bit of the good ozone, like the ozone layer that's protected. This is an ozone that actually will help kill bacteria also. I've had this tested at a couple of labs to make sure it actually works, so that I'm not promoting something that doesn't work.
Okay,
So
great.
That's a
great.
good one. I have a patent on the idea yet. I don't have a patent on
So
design.
you're just going to do the prototype, but that will come next.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's a whole series of things. Once you figure out you have some kind of idea that works, it'll sell, and there'll be 1 million people who want it. You don't want to sell something that 4 people will want. Next idea is, I'll show you the beginners.
Okay.
The
Now this looks like something you put in the ground for your tent.
Very good.
Or something for landscaping, that type of
Very
thing.
good.
Okay.
So for a tent, tree spikes to hold up the tree spikes, etc. So this is initial early one I did, and you notice it has fins on it. So in New England, there's a lot of rocky ground.
Yes, I
It was
know.
hard to get the fins in. So what I did was I shaved off the fins to make it look like this. This is an ugly one because I shaved off the fin. So the next time I had it made, I had the 3D printing guy make it like that, no fins, etc. I had this made a little wider and thicker because sometimes you need to hammer it into the ground. So
Excellent. All right, what else do you have? It looks like you have
Okay.
toothpicks.
here are toothpicks. So once you eat the cake, you'll want to use a toothpick to clean your teeth.
Right.
Often people do that. Now the normal toothpick has a spike on this side and a spike on that side. So it's good for cleaning in front. Real hard to get that spike behind your teeth. So my design is what I call a J-pick. So it's formed like a J. It's a nice name because my first name is John, so it goes nicely. But that you can also get behind your teeth to clean behind.
Now, what's the difference between that and you have like a flosser here, which I know I use a lot?
The flosser will get in between your teeth, like
Right.
where it's really tight, you can't even get a toothpick in.
Right.
So you use a that's not mine. I just use that as an example.
Right,
Which
exactly.
I left at home.
Yeah, those are great.
But I actually have made my own toothpick, J-pick, that I use myself. You have this in particular, after a lot of trying to bend this, wood doesn't bend and stay easily. So every time I would soak this in water, I'd bend it, what would happen is it would crack. So I finally found out that what I have to do is I have to use bamboo.
Okay.
So the bamboo works nicely. I'm working with some people to try and license this, because while there's like 8 billion of these toothpicks made in a year, they don't bring in a lot of
And
money.
we all need, yeah, well, we all see them at restaurants.
Yeah. But they don't bring in a lot of money from my perspective. So it's easier for me to license this to somebody, and even if I got a penny for whatever you want.
Excellent, yeah. Hey,
Or-
you're thinking ahead, which
Yeah,
is what
would-
you need to do when you're an inventor. You need to
Yeah.
be forward thinking.
Yeah,
So, and what else do
the
you
other
have
thing,
here?
The other thing this can be used for, you notice it has a hole down the middle, is in New England and any place where you have snow, you put these things around, these poles around your yard. I cut one off, obviously, around the yard so the plow doesn't dig up your yard. So these steady.
Yeah, I could definitely see a lot of applications. I
Yeah.
mean, you could put like maybe a solar light or any kind of trespassing signs in
You
there,
could.
or anything,
You
you know.
could. Any of
That's
that kind of
wonderful.
stuff.
Now, what do you have here? What is this?
Well, those are little wristbands, and
you're wearing two.
Yeah, I am wearing two. So I use a computer a lot, and when I do, I'll rest my arms on the table, basically. What happens is my wrists start to hurt.
Right.
And so any kind of repetitive activity like that will hurt your wrists. So what I did was got regular bands. I cut them open. I put a little fluffy stuff in there inside
Yeah.
a balloon, sewed them back up, and I have a prototype of a wrist.
Yeah, you could even use these when you're working out at the gym.
Yeah,
You know,
you know the other thing is that they make a long kind of buffer that you can put in front of your laptop. But if you're going to travel someplace, you don't want to take that big buffer with you.
You know,
so you
yeah,
put these on,
yep.
they stay with you all day. So that's that. Shall we talk about another? Another is this little baby. That's a 10-inch with five auger rings
this
on
almost
it.
looks like something you go to the beach with.
Oh, thank you very much.
And
You'll
because
go
I
to-
know you know that you really have to put your umbrella in the beach sand.
Yeah.
You got to be safe, because if it gets windy, you can hurt somebody.
And flies off and hits
Yeah.
somebody, etc.
I think I'm taking this home because I like to go to the
So
beach.
this is a prototype, because you'll notice as he's holding it up, there's 5 augers on that. I found that I didn't need 2 augers because it wasn't necessary, plus it adds money to it. So my latest one, and I made it a little bigger hole, because it'll accommodate a lot more umbrellas. And I only put 3 augers on it. Again, this guy, the 3D printing guy,
Right.
made this for me. And it has a little screw on here, so sometimes your post isn't as big as the hole, so you just screw that tight to keep it tight.
And you could use that for like umbrellas. You could use
Umbrellas.
that for like canopies if someone's having a party.
Correct.
All that type of stuff.
Correct.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
I've also used this earlier version of this when we had a St. Bernard, and we wanted to have a run for her.
Right, yeah.
I screwed this in, you put the line in here.
So what do? You kind of just screw it into the sand or
Yeah,
the
it
ground?
goes into sand. And the
Okay.
ground in New England is a little harder.
It is a little
because of the
harder,
rocks.
especially this time of year.
Yeah,
It really hasn't
exactly.
thawed out yet.
So
awesome.
that's about it.
So tell us the name of your company.
The company's name is Great Solutions,
Mm-hmm.
LLC. And the website, if you wanted to get in, look at the website, is www.greatsolutions.site.
Okay.
So, and I have a email address. If you wanted to send me something, it's ida.innov.gmail.com. I mean, at gmail.com.
Excellent. Well, thank you for taking the time to come into the
You're
Acton TV studios, and we want to have you come back maybe next month with some more inventions.
I would love to do that.
And I think, you know, out of all of these, I really like this, and I really like the cake cutter. It's a really great idea.
Yeah, that's a cool idea too.
All right. Well,
you.
thank you for taking the
That's
time.
great.
This is George for Talk of the Town. We'll see you again next time.
Take care.
Here is Cheng Sung Fu, a board member from the Council on Aging, to tell you everything that's going on at the Acton Senior Center at 30 Sudbury Road.
Hi, I'm Chung Shen Fu, also known as Bill, from Acton's Council on Aging Board, to tell you about few of the activities going on at the Senior Center in the month of May. We are starting a new line dancing class that begins in the late May and goes through the entire month of June. Come see for yourself why so many people love this group activity that is part mental, part physical, and part social. There are also dozens of other exercise classes offered each week. My mother and her friends enjoy the active aging class, as well as Tai Chi class. If you like games, seniors play Mahjong twice a week on Monday and Friday afternoons. Boards and tiles are available, but bring your own if you like. The Senior Center also offers drawing, watercolor, and needle art classes. One rides to the center are free if you are a resident of Acton. You just need to call ahead of time, and you will be picked up right at your home. We can get detail on everything mentioned today and a whole lot more in the center's monthly newsletter. The Senior Center is located at 30 Sudbury Road in Acton. It's open Monday through Friday from 8 to 5. If you are 60 or older, stop by. You are always welcome. For the Council on Aging Board, I'm Chung Shen Fu. Thank you for watching.
Here's our production and training coordinator, Patrick Snow, with the ladies from the Acton Garden Club. They're having their annual plant sale at the end of May.
Hi, I'm Patrick Snow for Talk of the Town, sitting here today with Ann Sterling and Maura Sharp from the Acton Garden Club. We're here to talk about the May 19th annual plant sale by the Acton Garden Club. To start off, what is the plant sale?
Well, we've had it every year for many, many years now, and it's a fundraiser. It's one of our largest fundraisers that we have each year. Each member of the garden club donates 20 or more plants from their own gardens.
Oh, wow.
So the good thing about it is that all of these plants have been proven to do well in Acton, versus sometimes when you buy them at a plant store or whatever, they may be grown in Georgia or Florida.
Oh, interesting. Then are these indoor plants, outdoor plants, both?
These are mostly outdoor.
These are all outdoor. We have
Yeah.
no house plants.
Yeah.
And they range from perennials to trees and shrubs. We have grasses, we have ground covers. And we should add
Annuals.
that
We have annuals, too.
purchase annuals from local nurseries.
Oh, that's a good point.
Now, do you need to know a lot about plants already in order to be able to come in here, like understand things? Or is this, if you're like, I'm a
Absolutely
beginner
not.
and I know nothing about plants, but I want to put something in front of my home?
The salespeople at the plant sale are all garden club members,
Yes.
many of whom have a lot of plant knowledge, and they will be there to answer all of your questions, to make recommendations for your particular garden, you know, depending upon what sun requirements.
Oh, I see. So I could give a description about how much
Yes.
sunlight I'm getting during the day and how big the space is, and they'd be able to say, what might be
And
an
they
ideal
would direct
fit.
you. They'd
Yes.
bring you over and say, this would be a great plant for that spot.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
they have a lot
I think
of knowledge.
that's the one thing that's missing when you go plant shopping is trying to guess, you know, what's the type thing on the little card says, match it with what you think you would describe your own yard.
Yeah, that's very true. Maura, do you want to pick that plant up? I just
What do we have here?
I wanted to say that this would be a good example. This is
There it
a
is.
hellebore, or a Lenten rose.
It's very pretty.
I dug this up from my garden 2 weeks ago, and it is something that likes shade, some sun, but primarily shade, and it will grow to be a much, much bigger plant. And you can see it blooms very, very early in the season.
So this was outside.
This was outside. I
until
dug it up
today. Huh.
Yep.
So
And-
how big would this thing get?
It's not going to get very much taller, but it will keep spreading every year. It'll get bigger and bigger.
cool.
It's pretty neat.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a beautiful plant.
Yes, and it stays evergreen. The leaves are evergreen throughout the winter. So that's the sort of, plants, obviously, growing in Acton.
And one advantage, another advantage to buying the plants there, as I just noticed, she has a price here of $7. Now, if you were to buy this elsewhere, I'm sure it would be $12 or $14.
Yeah,
So
that's
our
a
prices,
very good deal.
So our prices are, noticeably lower than, than they would be at a nursery or what have you. But
It's also going to a good cause, right? Now, can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yep. Well, we have, we give 2 scholarships away to the high school.
Well, it's one scholarship,
Okay.
which we can split between, we can give it to one student. It's
Right.
$2,000 a year.
Oh, wow, cool.
Last year we actually we split it into 2 $1,000 scholarships.
Yeah.
We also have an educational grant that is available to any town employee if it's being used in a project that, a gardening project, something that ties to horticulture that benefits the town. This year, that grant went to both libraries, the Citizens Library
Wow, cool.
and the Memorial Library. One of them is starting a seed bank, and the other one is paying for a speaker to come.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
if you buy something like this at the plant sale, that's what you're helping to
you are helping the
contribute towards?
town. Yes,
Yeah,
you
you are
are.
helping
Oh,
the
that's
town.
awesome. All right, thank you once again so much for being here. If you want to come down to the plant sale, it's happening on May 19th at 468 Main Street, right next to the Red House, right? And if you want more information, just visit their website, Google Acton Garden Club. Thank you very much. I'm Patrick Snow for Talk of the Town.
And stay tuned for a future Talk of the Town, where the Acton Youth News team will be out to cover the garden plant sale. Are you interested in production? Maybe you want to be a volunteer? Then drop us a line at ActonTV.org. You can learn video production, field production, and produce your very own TV show. For all of us at the station, we want to wish you a great week. I'm George Cox. We'll see you again next time. I'll set the camera shot, don't worry.
I figured that you're going to stand here.
Yeah. This is funny. All right.